Hello fans and welcome into the Postgame Show here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me, JD Raucci and Henrique DaMour, I'm Cameron Stuart. It was another victory for the Gatemen tonight, 6-3 over the Chatham Anglers in a game they led the entire way to extend their league best record to 6-2. The offense definitely came out to play once again tonight, and of course, as always, led by Austin Shenton.
Who else at this point? He's now hitting over 500 on the season, the third baseman from FIU. 3 for 4 tonight. Single, double, single for Austin Shenton in terms of the hit category tonight, and this kid just continues to rake. He's been the best hitter by average or by getting on base on this Gatemen lineup from the very beginning. He struggled a little bit in the first 2 exhibition games we saw him in with Martha's Vineyard and Newport, but ever since he has absolutely turned it on. It's honestly a little bit surprising when he doesn't reach base at this point. Enrique kind of touched on it. The one time he got out today, it was statistically an uncommon outcome for him. You're seeing him get on base with hits, let alone walks and on base percentage and all that jazz. You're seeing him get on with hits more than 50% of the time this season for Austin Shenton. He has been the straw that stirs the drink, the gear that makes the offense work. He has been absolutely incredible. There's not much else you can say about Austin Shenton other than that he is flat out one of the best hitters in the entire Cape League this season.
It's been a great season for him, a great season for Andrew Vaughn, who had another homer and 2 more RBI tonight. But the unexpected, coming out of the woodworks offensively, Luke Roskam, our player of the game tonight.
Our player of the game tonight, Luke Roskam, had himself a day. A double and a single to both parts of the field. He uses opposite field power. He got a low outside fastball, looped it into left field for a double, brought in 2 runs today, and he had been totally stagnant. He had an RBI via either a field of choice or ground out. It was an unconventional RBI previously, but he got to go in a more conventional sense today. I got to see him in Duluth last year, and it took him a little bit too. But he eventually turned into a dead pull hitter that eventually saw his batting average dip into the low 250s, but got it back up to the 300s when he started using the opposite field a little more. We touched on it on the broadcast. His freshman year was fantastic. Sophomore year was just okay. But he's really started to come into his own. We talked about how the catching battle will be between him and Andrew Millis as Michael Amditis goes back to Miami to finish summer school, so it's going to be a 2-man system behind the plate. But Roskam, he's good enough defensively and offensively. He's really started to come into his own. And it's just good to see, as you know, one of the looming storylines has been, what are the Gatemen going to do when Andrew Vaughn and company leave for Team USA? But it's good to see that not only is there more contact, Austin Shenton, right, sort of an unexpected, well, 525 is always unexpected as a batting average. But to hit at this clip like he has, but it's good to see also a little more power to replace what Andrew Vaughn is going to leave behind here on the Cape. So I think the Gatemen are in good hands. It's good to see guys like Roskam step up and become mainstays in the lineup.
And you kind of mentioned how Roskam was a little bit stagnant to start the season. Frankly, the Gatemen kind of broke out of that stagnant slump today. They were stagnant in the last 3 games against Harwich on Saturday and the doubleheader against Orleans on Sunday. So it's good to see them at least break out of that stagnant slump, kind of get back to the Gatemen offense we all know and love that we saw at the beginning of the season. Good to see the Gatemen get back in order today in a big win over a really good team in Chatham.
Sure are. So the game of the year for Luke Roskam propels things tonight. He got to talk to our Mary Orders after the game.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with the Gatemen catcher, Luke Roskam. Now, Luke, you had a breakthrough game at the plate tonight with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. What was working out there for you tonight?
I was just not trying to do too much, get the guy in from third with first and third, just a grounder would do, beat it out, and then just slapped a slider out down the line for a double and got the guy home.
Have you been working on anything in particular during practice?
Just try not to stress too much. I mean, a lot of guys can put pressures on themselves out here, and I'm not one of those guys. I just try to relax and have fun.
Definitely. And you were catching tonight for Ken Waldachuk through the first 5 innings. What did you see out of Ken tonight?
He just had pinpoint command. I mean, he was all over the place, in, out. His slider was working really well and kept guys off balance.
And lastly, in general, how has your time been on the Cape so far?
Oh, it's a blast. This is my first time out east, so I'm from Minnesota, so I don't get out here that much, so I'm having a great time out here.
Did you do anything fun on your off day yesterday?
Nah, actually I just laid around. I was kind of tired, so I took the day off.
That's definitely the way to go. Well, back to you guys.
Welcome back into the postgame show here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Thanks to Mary for that report with Luke Roskam. Offensively, it was a great night for the Gatemen, but it always starts with pitching, and it was another great start for Ken Waldachuk tonight.
Yeah, Ken Waldachuk out of St. Mary's. We talked about him in the pregame show. Just a sliver over a 2.0 ERA this season with the Gales, and he looked absolutely stellar on the mound tonight. A lot of strikeouts once again in 5 innings of work for him. And really the secret to his success tonight was getting ahead of hitters early. We saw him strike out the first batter of the game, then walk back-to-back guys in the Anglers lineup. But after that, he got aggressive. Got first pitch strikes, got hitters to 0-2. And I think it's so important when pitchers get hitters to 0-2 because then you have the kind of, you get to dictate the tempo for the rest of the at-bat. You get to say, this is what I'm going to throw you. You have to hit it. You can't just lay off. Once the hitter gets ahead, then the hitter kind of gets to dictate, hey, I'm not going to swing at that, so you can't throw me that. So when you get to dictate the tempo and you get to get things going as a pitcher, it just becomes a lot easier, not to mention the fact that the Gatemen then responded and got out in front early, and like I said in pregame, that takes the pressure off the pitcher. It's kind of a symbiotic relationship. Takes the pressure off the pitcher when you score runs, takes the pressure off the offense when you pitch well. It was a 1-2 punch kind of tonight between the offense for the Gatemen and Ken Waldachuk, and that's the reason they came out on top. Great play on both ends.
Another solid start for Waldachuk, as you said, 5 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed, and the bullpen Henrique did just enough tonight to keep the lead for the Gatemen.
I think it's just that. They did just enough. Nathan Florence he started off really well, but then ran into a little bit of trouble, got into a little bit of a jam, and Tyler Ye, the newcomer originally from L.A., pitched at Seattle University, just finished up his sophomore year there, did a heck of a job. Got out of a jam, let up 1 run, but it didn't go on his record. It was Florence's base runner. But he managed to limit Tristan English to a single, an RBI single, and took care of the rest of the lineup. And it was a very quick 9th inning. But I think to your point, JD, that proved to be the recipe for success and defeat for Nathan Florence, was getting out ahead of guys or letting guys go up 3-0. We saw Greg Jones, the leadoff man for Chatham, get into a bevy of 3-0 counts. And with his speed, he's dangerous. He has 2 home runs already on the year. Coming in today, he had 4 hits, 2 of them were home runs. That is quite the slugging percentage. Anywho, I mean, but the point is, that was what dictated success and failure today for the Gatemen. And it almost seemed, even for Waldachuk, even in that first inning when it got kind of rocky, when he walked back-to-back batters, it seemed like night and day. He got into these 3-0 counts, or he was dominating with a hard fastball, the breaking ball when he kept it low, and when he allowed it to bite, it was really, really good to make these Anglers hitters look really silly. It was a team that had a high-powered offense coming into it. We talked about it on the pregame show. 6 guys coming into today that hit over 300. Tristan English came into today with a 421 batting average, and the Gatemen managed to hold him to just 4 hits on the day, 3 for much of the game. I can't say enough about this pitching staff and what they did to Chatham today.
Pitching staff kept them in the game today after the offense started to blow it open a couple times. A solid win for the Gatemen tonight. They'll be back here at Spillane tomorrow to take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who sit right now at 4th in the West with a 4-3 record, a record that would put them only on 1 point off the lead in the East. So we've got a good ball club in Hyannis coming in tomorrow. We'll have that action for you. 6:30, our coverage starts at 6 o'clock tomorrow with the Gatemen pregame show. For JD Raucci and Henrique DaMour, I'm Cameron Stuart. Good night, everyone.